This is your Barbados Today Morning News Update for Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. Not welcome. The teens who were hauled before the court for terrorizing two homeless men won't be able to do community service at the Barbados Vagrants and Homeless Society. A clearly upset Kimar Safri, who heads the NGO, says they'll have to go elsewhere. The 16 and 17-year-old St. Michael teens were caught by police while others who were reportedly involved in the attacks ran away. In court, the duo admitted to stoning and chasing the homeless men on Broad Street and were labeled as cowards by the chief magistrate. The 17-year-old has since been ordered to do community service.
The Barbados Homeless Society doesn't condone any sort of abuse on the homeless at any level for any reason whatsoever. And we've also been contacted as it relates to these guys serving their community service with the Barbados Vagrants and Homeless Society, and we would let the public know we do not want them to serve any of their community service with the organization at any level, whether or not it be feeding them, as people have been posting and asking, whether or not it be coming cleaning up the organization, whether or not it be cleaning up the areas where the homeless frequent. No, we don't want these guys around. They must learn their lesson, and they will learn their lesson from somewhere else, and they could be given somewhere else a hardship of a task to do somewhere else. And we just pray that as it relates to this, that these guys learn their lesson, and that those that are culprits or looking to be culprits themselves would learn from this lesson, that there are people out there that and there are organizations like ourselves and the members of the Royal Barbados Police Force that are here to look after the well-being of the homeless and would not stand for any of this act.
Safri also had some harsh words for the teens and others involved in the attack.
These guys are bullies, these guys are cowards, and these guys are ignorant to think that they could go and pick on people. And you know what was positive for us as an organization is that, well, we look at the video, when they read it in the paper, they said that the homeless did them nothing. They just decided that this is an act that they will carry out on the homeless people, and this is wrong. This is stupid of them, and we don't condone any act, and they will pray that they will continuously feel the full weight of the law, and anybody that want to take advantage of the homeless would feel the full weight of the law, because this is not, it's sad to see that this is really our society is going. This is how our young people are thinking. I want to ask that the parents of these young people really look seriously at their children.
Meantime, assistance is coming to troubled youth in Barbados. A multi-million-dollar facility is being built by the Young Men's Christian Association, YMCA, to help equip them for the job market. President Emerald Holder tells Barbados Today that work on the $5 million complex will start in January.
Our plans is to reach out to the youth, and let me say troubled youth in Barbados, and to find a home away from home for them. Presently, we are offering what we call self-help class, and help them to develop a skill, learn a skill, and we are hoping that with that skill, that they could go out in the community and offer their services for a small fee.
Holder says the YMCA already has some funds for a state-of-the-art social center to replace the old headquarters building on Pinfold Street that was demolished years ago. However, the WISE leader says the 139-year-old association needs more money to complete the construction. The Barbados Workers Union, BWU, is hoping to meet today with the management of Massy distribution after workers there downed tools yesterday. The work stoppage followed a meeting earlier in the day to discuss a number of issues. Union General Secretary Tony Moore said in a statement issued yesterday evening that the dispute isn't only about wages, and she has since written to the company requesting further talks.
The union has written to the company communicating that the Executive Council of the Barbados Workers Union has given its full support to the workers' action taken today and requesting a meeting at their earliest availability, possibly tomorrow, to address the outstanding concerns. We await a response from the company.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In the region, CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque isn't pleased with the pace of implementation of the free movement regime within the bloc. At least 10 categories of people have been approved to move between member states, but some countries appear to be dragging their feet. Ambassador LaRocque doesn't identify the states that are lagging behind, but as he addressed a press conference yesterday, he said the issue is an area of concern.
But the 10 categories plus agriculture workers and security personnel is what we're looking at as 2 new categories to be added. Of the 10 that have already been agreed, member states who were given the opportunity to pass the legislation, and in the interim, having not passed the legislation, because we know legislative agendas take time, to put in administrative procedures. The CCJ recognizes that member states can do that. Those who have passed the CARICOM Community Act, you can do that. And those who have passed, and all our member states have passed the CARICOM Treaty into law. So any obligation that comes out of it, they ought to be able to use administrative procedures to allow it to happen. What we are finding is that there are still member states who have not passed the legislation, but worse yet, who have not put all of the administrative procedures in place to allow for that. And that's what we're going to be looking at. I'm not going to be calling names right now because persons I know, we've had a series of meetings since the December meeting in December, one-on-one with the member states. And that has proven to be very, very helpful in sometimes it's lack of understanding. I mean, I hate to say that, but on what needs to be done at the member state level. I'm sorry to put it that way, but the capacity doesn't seem to be there.
Ambassador LaRocque was speaking ahead of the 2-day conference of the CARICOM Heads of Government that begins in St. Lucia tomorrow. A number of issues are on the agenda, including blacklisting, crime and security, and the situation in Venezuela. The Commission on the Economy, led by Barbados' Dr. Avinash Prasad, is also due to deliver an interim report. And finally, China's central government yesterday condemned the ransacking of Hong Kong's legislature, and it wants the incident investigated. We get more in this report.
Calm's restored in Hong Kong, but the damage and the message remain. In the early hours of Tuesday, Carrie Lam, the city's chief executive, called Monday's chaotic scenes heartbreaking and shocking.
With these violent acts that we have seen, it is right for us to condemn it and hope society will return to normal.
The 22nd anniversary of the former British territory's return to China was marked by a huge pro-democracy march. Then anger spilled over, and groups of young protesters stormed and occupied the Legislative Council before being forced out by police. Beijing is backing a criminal investigation into the violence and called it a blatant challenge to the one country, two systems agreement. Hong Kong is governed under its own laws and with special rights like freedom of speech, but the millions who've joined demonstrations in recent weeks fear these rights are eroding. Carrie Lam has postponed work on the proposed extradition bill which initially sparked the unrest, but neither this nor police tear gas has ended calls for her resignation.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.